as Andy Hart joins us. Isn't that kind of what the NFL is doing by putting Taylor Swift on for 45 seconds over various points of an AFC title game? Isn't it like a restaurateur being like, hey, Christian Fourier showed up. Let me get him to sign something and put it on the wall or whatever. Where do you land on all the Taylor Swift stuff, Andy Hart?
I think it's so annoying in both directions. I really don't care about it. Like,
I find that Hart would be the guy to go, I hate everybody on this.
Well, I hate the people that are bitching that they show her too much. I hate the people that are wanting to see her so much. Like, I said this, I find her more likable. This has made me, because I am not a Taylor Swift fan. I think she's the most overrated artist, anything of our generation. I don't get it. But now, when I see her just acting like the rest of us, dropping F-bombs when she thinks her guy got tackled in the end zone for pass interference, or just hanging out with people chugging beers around her, she seems more relatable to me. I find her more attractive. She seems more like the every woman than I used to see. So
I'm with you.
I like it.
I got to agree with you. And I'm with you on the first part, too. I'm just kind of like, I don't care either way. I don't care if people hate her. I don't care if people like her. It's like it's a topic because it's her. Because CBS is forcing 44 seconds down our throat.
Right. Oh, my God, 44 seconds. I waste more time than that playing Words with Friends or whatever the hell else every day. I mean.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah, I still do it.
Is that because you have to write?
No. What do you
or
mean?
Or you just bored on the can?
Oh, it's usually either on the can or with a coffee. Those are the 2 times.
Or after the coffee on the can.
Hey.
Or, yes, it could start with the coffee and end on the can. That's a fair point.
That's usually what works for me. Hey, so
and with creatine, you got to go to the bathroom a lot, right?
Listen. You know I'm right. I keep sending him messages of information about creatine.
Gonna go max out later. Can somebody put the 2.5s on?
I am gonna max out. Like the next time I try to bench, I'm gonna max out. I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna do the typical. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. I got it.
Meanwhile, Hart, this guy's walking around today like there's something stuck in an unfortunate part of his body.
Yeah,
it's like,
what's wrong? It's just listen. It's like it's back again. It's just the whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's a life thing now. But anyways, let me get to some football because
I'm going to bench 350 pizzas.
That doesn't have.
I'm on creatine.
Why isn't it helping my back? Okay,
yeah, I thought it was magical. Every text you send me has got like this magical research. Why is your back hurt?
I hydroxycutted my way to having abs, and now I'm going to have my 225-pound bench press.
I don't know. How do I always get teased for this?
Because you're a 50-something taking creatine for no reason.
Again, there is more. Nobody. This isn't 1996. No one's trying to roid out with creatine.
Yeah, but you just said.
Bulk.
Well, and
it's for other health benefits.
Did Fourier not just say, I'll take my next max bench for everybody?
Yeah, and it'll be funny because it's going to be low.
No, I don't want you
130 pounds.
I don't want you to hurt yourself. And plus, then Wiggy will be like, yeah, I can do more. And the next thing we know, we got the Ken Patera bench press competition before the Royal Rumble in '88.
Oh, man.
Anyway, you were going to ask Hart something.
You got a football question?
No, I do and I don't.
Just say Hart just Belichick there, didn't
I
he?
do and I
You
don't.
have a football question? Hey, man, we'll talk about Cincinnati today. Otherwise,
yeah, what are we on to? Can we? Okay, let's be on to the special teams coach.
I'd rather not.
Okay, so don't know anything about this guy at all. His name is
Jerry Springer.
Jeremy Springer. And it's funny because I thought it was like, Jerry Springer. No, it's Jeremy Springer.
God rest,
no relation,
by the way.
Yeah, one of the greatest,
TV shows ever
in the history of TV.
Okay.
Somebody was throwing out some stats of this guy from his time with the Rams.
Not good,
and it wasn't good, right? No, and he wasn't the main guy, right? He was the assistant special teams coach. So explain that part to me.
So I think the Sean McVey allure has gone awry, if I can use allure and awry in the same sentence. I mean, I get the whole thing. Okay, he's an offensive genius. He pumps out offensive play callers, that whole thing. Why do I need Sean McVay's coordinator? And I think the Fossil guy was there for one point, right? He assisted him, and he's got a great reputation. I understand people wanting, as people like to say, like the tight pants, young-looking McVay wannabes for offense, but
the
do we need him
capris,
for
wearing the
special
capris.
teams? The guy looks like that on special teams. I don't really care. I actually don't want that in my special teams coordinator. I'd be more of a Christian Fourier creatine taking meathead on special teams. I think I know we've tried to is it dumb up the game? I don't know, make it seem like it's more cerebral now, but I still think special teams on some level is that old organized chaos. I don't need a pretty boy special teams coordinator who has a bad track record, even though I'm not big on the freaking DVOA stats in general, never mind in the kicking game. I think that's a little analytically far afield. But we can say one thing. They needed a change on special teams, right? We can agree with that. The special teams have been pretty putrid the last few years. Joe Judge, Cam McCord, whoever else was doing it, they've been bad. So I'll take the change, and maybe he's like a middle reliever. You know how in baseball sometimes you look at middle relievers, you're like, that guy's ERA was 5.5. He stinks. And then all of a sudden he brings him to a new place, and for a year he has an ERA in like the 3s, and then somebody overpays him. Maybe this is the special teams coordinator version of that. Numbers weren't that good, but a change will do him good and you'll be better. I don't know.
Well, let's hope so. No, I'm with you. We're talking ourselves into a lot of this stuff, Hart, quite honestly. And same for offensive coordinator. Like, it just, you know what it feels
Who's
like?
that going to be?
Well, honestly, Hart, good. You know what it feels like, though? It's like we're on the roller coaster. Whee! We got some McVey guys. Whee! Let's ride the roller coaster.
Yeah, but we don't really. I mean, I'm all in on Nick Caley. I've been all in on Nick Caley for 2 freaking years. I think you porked the pooch and this whole thing. Butterfly effect, if you had hired Nick Caley 2 years ago, I don't know, maybe Mac doesn't stink and maybe Bill Belichick's still the head coach. I mean, that's a dramatic amount to put on Nick Caley's plate, having never called plays in the NFL. And I also think it's a little maybe disingenuous to call him a McVey guy. Just, he goes there for a year and coaches tight ends under McVey, and suddenly he's a McVey guy. He's like, is that how quickly it happens by osmosis?
They polished him up. It's like a rock. He just polished him up.
Again,
he wasn't finished. It's like McVey is like the finishing school that you go to, right? You're all like, you have all these rough edges. Send him to a boarding school, just a finishing school to kind of, polish him up and make him more presentable.
For 1 year? Can you take Gresh, send him to a boarding school for 1 year? Would he be presentable? Because I think he'd still be Gresh.
I would agree.
Right?
You shave his beard. You shave his beard.
No, you don't shave it all the way. You trim it. That's what the McVey. You got to have a little stubble. That's the McVey.
Oh, that's right.
Darken up your eyebrows a little bit.
Tight pants.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, you got to see the outline of that thing in your pants. Otherwise, it isn't good enough. My God.
What thing is that, Gresh?
The thing I wonder if the Patriots will play with next year.
The old LeGarrette Blount.
I mean, like, seriously, but Hart, we also played something earlier from Gerard Mayo in a conversation with Phil Perry about offensive coordinator, and it was, good question, mentioned collaborative, and then he highlighted the connections of the ownership in terms of finding an OC, and people are saying no to this job. So can ownership not sell their product? Or is there a bigger flaw in this whole search to begin with?
Well, I think there's some questions here. First of all, there's been reports/analysis that this isn't a good job, and I don't really understand that. I understand you don't have Tom Brady. You're not inheriting like a star quarterback. You're not just going to right out the gates, call plays, and it's easy, and wow, we'll score 1 million points and be in the AFC title game. But I think an argument can be made rather than going to Shane Waldron, my guy from Tufts, goes to the Bears. And if they stick with Justin Fields, now I don't know if they're going to, but I'm just saying theoretically, if they stuck with Fields, is that a spot I want to be in where I'm trying to fix a guy who's 3 years in and it's sort of a career crossroads for him, which could also be a career crossroads for me? Or do I want to go to a place where they have the 3rd pick in the draft? The head coach is on the record of late saying, well, we're going to go get a quarterback, we're going to go get a tackle, and we're going to go get a wide receiver. We're going to invest heavily there. We're going to burn some cash. Like, all of that opportunity, it's like, I guess it would sort of be like a pyramid scheme or one of those marketing schemes. Like, you're getting in on the ground level. And if it blows up, you're going to make a boatload of money. There's an opportunity to get rich here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I would look at this job is if you have confidence and you sort of buy into the idea they're going to go get a quarterback, they're going to go get a receiver, we're going to figure things out on the fly here, we're youthful, we're collaborative, all these, I guess venture capital startup kind of words. The way you get rich is to get in on the ground floor of a startup, correct? And I understand that, 9 out of 10 startups probably never make it anywhere. But you should have confidence that you're going to be on the one startup that I'm going to help these guys get the right quarterback, the right tackle, the right wide receiver. We're going to pair it all together. And in 3 years, I'm going to be a head coach because we nailed the hell out of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did I sell it?
No,
I'm selling a lot
is,
today.
No, it
No,
is.
I
It is.
mean-
It does feel like you're right because it feels like, hey, let's get all these bright minds together. Let's all young guys who are willing to spend a little extra time in the office.
Think tank.
Yeah. Honest to God, like almost like a home renovation show. I don't know. It just seems they're taking a long-term approach to this because the whole startups take a while. Right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. And then you probably have a lot of guys that say, you know what? I need to feed my family. I need to leave because this looks like it's not going to work. And I'm going to if I notice it early enough, I'm going to get the hell out of there.
Can Mayo not be selling it well? Or are people being like, Gerard, you're a great guy, but this just doesn't work for me? And there's
Or is
obvious
he being too
reasons why.
picky? I mean, I think there's also because I don't believe it's been reported necessarily who the job was or wasn't offered to, or if it's been offered to anybody. Like, did Shane Waldron pick the Bears over the Patriots, or did he just interview with the Patriots?
I thought I read something about Zach Robinson turned it down.
Okay,
so
but that one's understandable.
And the
Like,
Houston dudes, the guy, like especially that quarterback coach from Houston, he was a guy very much on the rise, or is on the rise.
but he might not be ready. Like, I think there's just a lot of youthful opportunity here in both directions and smart decisions. I mean, Ben Johnson was the hottest thing going, right? Ben Johnson was going to get $15 million a year, and he said, "Nah, I'm just going to stay here and keep doing my job. I don't think I'm ready." So I think there's a lot of factors at play here: the lack of offensive structure, the lack of talent, the uncertainty of it in both directions. Does Gerard want the guy? Does the guy want to work for Gerard? Does the guy want to take? Is he ready? Because you are kind of pulling from a young pool. This isn't a pool of guys that are like, this might be my last interview as offensive coordinator. This might be my last shot. No, each and every one of these guys is going to be getting offensive coordinator interviews for the next decade, 2 decades in the NFL, if they want to, in all likelihood. So I am just starting to get to the point where I tweeted this the other day, and people get all pissy because it's Twitter, and that's what happens on Twitter. But first of all, I just reminded myself, I'm going to interrupt myself here real quick. Christian had the tweet of the week.
Ooh.
I honestly believe this. I don't know if you guys have addressed this on the show or not, but when you challenge the idea like Patriots need a modern offense, and you were like, what's that mean? Mm-hmm. And people kind of came back at you, and then it kind of went down the road it should have. People just throw these terms around like, they need a modern well, what's a modern offense? Because everybody told me Shanahan runs like zone blocking, and we're going to do this like Shanahan and spacing. And then when I see him scoring, I'm watching the game, and they're running like old school gap principles.
They're running
pound
power.
the damn right?
Front side
Right.
power.
So what is modern offense? If Shanahan runs it, is it deemed modern, even if it isn't? Like that's my point, and I think it's become too cliche and too simple to just say Patriots need to modernize their offense. You know what I think the Patriots need to do? Find themselves a Christian McCaffrey, find themselves a Deebo Samuel, find themselves a George Kittle, and I think this offense, old or not, will score more points and be more popular.
You know what all modern offenses have in common, Andy?
Talent.
100%. So talent. I was telling Andy.
No, they only have wide receivers.
I was telling Gresh
you
the
and
other
your wide
day.
receiver issues.
I know he loves that. He loves that
That's
line.
what everybody goes to. Hey, wide receivers.
No, I don't care who it is. I saw
Miami's
somebody
the
post,
bee's knees.
go get Saquon Barkley. I think he's a great player. I think he'll make any team he joins better, whether it be a modern offense or a dated offense. Because why? Because he's big, he's powerful, he can run, he can catch, he can make plays, he can make yards after catch. Like, that's what I would like more than anything else. Just bring me some athletes. Not the fake ass athletes, not the Mike Gesicki athletes, not the Juju Smith-Schuster athletes. Those are fake ass.
No,
athletes.
it's like
I want real athletes.
Those are the I hope this guy works out athlete. I hope this guy fills this gap athlete. I hope he hits every benchmark I expect him to under the best case scenario portfolio that we put together.
Nope.
Doesn't
I
work.
want the real athlete, where the guy that would step on any team on any field and make that. I might be making an argument for Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know, because that would be, in my opinion, a real ass athlete.
I look, Fourier and I were talking about it yesterday, Hart. That kid walks on the field and he's ready to go right away day one, it feels like. And
any field, too. I like that idea. He doesn't come to New England to fill a void. That guy could walk on any field in America, whether it's a college or whether it's a pro team, and immediately the coach is like, hey, we got one. Well, let's fill out the rest of the offense.
Agreed.
Like, how are we going to? So maybe I am making an argument for Marvin Harrison, even though I'm very much against it and I want a quarterback.
Well, I mean, it feels like Gerard Mayo. He has no idea what they're doing on offense. They don't have an offensive coordinator, but they already know they're taking a quarterback, so that's already been decided, apparently.
Well, they need a quarterback, and that is the best path to success in the National Football League.
Well, they could just go buy one in free agency. Then again, if you can't recruit an offensive coordinator, would you be able to sell a mid-level or a decent veteran to, come here and be the guy for a bit?
I like the twitch right now. I'm kind of like the angel on your shoulder.
Oh, no, Coop is definitely moving some things
now
around.
I'm the voice of reason over your right shoulder.
I don't know about that now. Let's not go crazy.
He found a new button to press.
But
hey, Coop's pressing all the buttons and pulling all the levers in there. Coop,
right.
fade him in. Fade him in so he takes over the one shot.
What do you now? Yeah. What do you want to produce this thing?
Stop.
Yeah, right.
Stop. Here we go. Now pull
Ready
it
to
slowly.
take two. Ready
there
to take
it
two.
is. There
we
it
go.
is.
Now Christian's the voice of reason over my shoulder. Or no, Christian would be like that little voice telling you to do bad things.
Oh, of course, but
Take
I'm willing
creatine.
to go.
Take creatine.
They'll never test you.
Drink more.
They're never going to test you.
Hard alcohol.
Don't we have to get Sean McVey to admit he took creatine for the sales to really go through? I mean,
Oh yeah, that would work better than
people who walk his dog get interviews. So what the
They
hell?
do?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure
He's got a dog walker?
I'm sure McVay's dog walker will get an interview for some kind of role somewhere in the NFL, won't they? The Shimes of the world.
Probably. His get back coach. Does he still have that guy?
Oh yeah, he does. Hard.
Remember that guy?
It's a guy who's like tugging on that rope on him. Yeah,
I always thought that was
rope.
the dumbest.
He's like pulling him like a kid in an airport.
I always thought that was the dumbest job in sports because you have these head coaches that are telling players, I need you to do exactly what I tell you to do. I need you to be responsible. I need mature, professional. I need a person to make sure I don't walk on the field. Like, I think get back coach is so contrary to everything coaches tell players to do.
I know.
You
I
take care of yourself.
I do get it because it's the little white area right there that you're not supposed to be in, and the refs run down the line. Now I can easily see like coaches like getting all excited. And then when they bump into the ref, I know you say don't, but they can't help it. And I almost feel like some of them just do it on purpose. Like, it's like
100%.
Do you remember seeing real quickly? I'm gonna go way back on this one. I don't even know if you were paying attention, and Gresh, you too. Do you remember what Charlie Weiss's Get Back coach looked like after he got ran over and blew his knee out when he was the head coach at Notre Dame?
I do not.
I don't.
Oh, it was a strength coach.
Was it like that?
It was the biggest dude I think I had ever seen.
Is that D-line coach in Seattle or wherever?
He was just jacked.
Horse.
And his role was technically just to, like, one, get him out of the way, but more importantly, get in the way.
Shield him.
So he was supposed to not – you couldn't push Charlie because he would break, right? So you had to literally get in the way. No, don't throw me out of the way. You get in the way.
You're a shield, a human shield.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Sidebar.
Charlie on his rascal on the sideline there, moving around. Andy Hart is with us each and every Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we will likely talk about the Super Bowl, unless there are more assistant to the assistant of the traveling secretary hires in New England.
So do you expect we will be talking about the new Patriots offensive coordinator by next Wednesday? Will we have one? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, because we're at default stage right now.
Yeah, don't you have to? I mean, the Shrine Bowl is playing tomorrow night. The Senior Bowl is this weekend. At some point, don't you need to put together a staff and put together a game plan and put together targets on offense for your scouts to actually go out and get?
It would help.
Yeah.
It would help.
What are we doing here?
I'm sure Robin Glazer's working on it right now for everybody.
Gresh.
Hart, thank you, buddy.
Go in there? No. Okay, bye.
All right, see you later. There goes our guy, Andy Hart. You can read him at WEEI.com.